What is going on, dudes? My name is Danger and welcome to a new video. Today, guys, I'm going to be giving you my opinions on the Infinite Warfare Zombies in Spaceland map / mode, and I'm going to try to keep this in a pros and cons type structure. So it's going to be, I tell you what all I like about it, and I tell you some of the disadvantages of it, and then I finally, at the end, tell you my overall opinion and what, I honestly think about the map and the game mode itself, and the actual, the development of this Zombies in Spaceland, and what can be happening in the DLC, and what we can hopefully look forward to. So, yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start getting into this, and, yeah, let's do that. So starting off positive with the pros of Infinite Warfare Zombies in Spaceland, gonna be starting off with the focus on gameplay more than the story. Now this is something that Black Ops 3 incredibly lacked in. The gameplay for Black Ops 3, honestly, in my opinion, was not that great. It definitely could have been better. They just focused way too much on the story, which was good. I did like the story, but it just took away from the gameplay, and it didn't really feel much like zombies actually playing it, unfortunately. So, that kind of sucks in of itself. But with Infinite Warfare Zombies, it is actually very focused on gameplay, and I do like the gameplay quite a bit. It's really fun to play. I get on it all the time just to play, for a little bit, level up, play with some randoms just because I don't really like playing solo, or play with my cousin, whichever. And I find it really fun, it's obviously a good thing that the gameplay is good, Unfortunately, like I said before, Black Ops 3, honestly, in my opinion, was not the best in gameplay. That's why I didn't like it as much. So, yeah. Next, let's move on to the difficult setting. So, like, how difficult it is. But yet it's easy to pick up and play it. So, it's like, essentially, you get into the map. It can be pretty hard, like, starting out. And, that's how it should be. The first time you play it, you shouldn't really make it that far. You should have a tough time trying to figure out everything, and, that makes sense. But not only does it get very difficult at first, it gets very difficult in the high rounds, in the sense that high round attempts are quite rare on this map. The highest I've seen is like 91 or 92, something like that. So it's very, very, very hard to get to high rounds on this map, obviously from some of the factors in the map, such as brutes, but we'll get into that later. But obviously, in spite of this difficulty, it's still easy to pick up and play whenever you want. So that was also another problem with Black Ops 3, is that if you did not play any of Treyarch Zombies before that, you were kind of screwed trying to play, because you didn't know what to do. You had all these things, all these quests that you had to do to actually get anything done, which was really unfortunate. Like, just any random Joe couldn't walk up and start playing it. I was fortunate enough to already know zombies that I was actually able to play it. I would have been quite upset if I bought the game thinking the zombies looked really good and then not be able to play it because I don't know what to do. So that was one big problem with Black Ops 3 Infinite Warfare. You can pick it up, you can play, even if it's your first zombies experience ever. You don't really have to do all that much. You can maybe look up a video or two about, Pack-a-Punch, or maybe some of the weapons if you want to, like the wanted weapons. But you don't have to. It's very easy to pick up and play, and I really do like it. So, next pro of Infinite Warfare Zombies in Spaceland, we have the setting is realistic. So what I mean by that is that it actually feels like a zombie apocalypse. It's not just like, oh yeah, you're in the 1950s. Well, I guess Shadows of Evil did kind of feel similar to a zombie apocalypse, not gonna lie. But then, like, moving on from that, you're like in this castle and with all this magical stuff, and then you got Stalingrad and some random island with a lot of green ambiance. It was really weird. So obviously that really didn't feel like a zombie apocalypse much. It was just pretty unrealistic. Just getting into like Stalingrad and playing, it's like, not really. It doesn't really look like Stalingrad. You don't have like people panicking or anything like that. Now, Zombies in Spaceland, it feels a lot like an actual zombie apocalypse. You got arcades and all that kind of stuff that are still around. All the stuff hasn't shut down yet. It feels like it just now started off. You're just now getting into it, and it really does feel like an old-fashioned zombies horror films like Zombieland and Not a Living Dead, all that kind of stuff. It really does feel like that, you know. It feels realistic, to say the least, if you know what I'm getting at here. Obviously, Black Ops 3 just wasn't, and Infinite Warfare does kind of improve on that. I really do feel like the settings are quite realistic. The next pro going into this is that the devs are listening to the community currently, and still are. So, let's say, with Black Ops 3, we got no new perks. Alright, we just got Widow's Wine, and that was it, and Shadows of Evil. And then throughout the entire DLC season, even though people begged and pleaded for it, we did not get any new perks. Going into Infinite Warfare, there's automatically 10 perks in the map, which is awesome. You have such a variety to choose from, and one of them being Trailblazers, which was Banana Colada, which was one thing that a lot of people wanted in Black Ops 3, but the devs just did not make it. Literally, it could have just been ask Mad Guys Gaming to use his model and his textures for it, and then just code in the ability for it, which they ended up doing for the most part in one of the Gobblegums, but they didn't give us to it in a perk form. And that's what people wanted, and they didn't do that. Infinite Warfare releases with it, so obviously they've been listening, they know what the community wants. Another thing is Bomb Stoppers, which is PhD. People wanted that throughout Black Ops 2 and throughout Black Ops 3. Only saw it on Origins on Black Ops 3, and then somewhat in the form of a Gobblegum. Now obviously I do understand that they put Gobblegums in the game as like an alternative to perks, and also a way for Activision to make that money. If you take a look back at my COD Points rant video, you gotta know that Activision really do want that money, and it's probably not Treyarch's fault that they didn't, you know, include all this kind of stuff. Activision probably is just like, you know what, no, you're gonna put in all this stuff, you're gonna do this, that, and this, and whatever you're doing, just replace it in the form of Gobblegum to where we can make money off of it. They don't want them to give away free stuff, so again, Treyarch didn't really listen all that well, but Infinity Ward are really listening. They're making all kinds of patches to what people are saying, so like, you know, nerf the Brute, buff some wonder weapons, nerf the boss fight, buff some other stuff, you know, make other things easier, make other things harder. All that kind of stuff, just amazing fixes that are really improving this game over Black Ops 3. So again, the devs are really listening to what the community wants. Now moving on to our next pro, and the last pro of today, is the replayability value. Now honestly, I can pick up Infinite Warfare Zombies and still enjoy it. I mean, ever since the map first came out, I've been playing it almost daily, multiple times a day, just enjoying it every single time. That was something that Black Ops 3 really lacked in. I would pick up a map and get bored of it within an hour, probably wouldn't play anymore that day, wait until the next day, maybe look up some videos on it, start doing some Easter eggs, all that kind of stuff. And with Infinite Warfare Zombies, I can get on, level up, have some fun. I'm definitely leveling up at a faster rate than Black Ops 3 Zombies. They've obviously put in double XP, which Black Ops 3 Zombies didn't do for a while, and you know, that's also really good. So I've been really enjoying it. The replayability value, it's still fun each time I get into it. In fact, I think I might be enjoying it more and more and more every single time I get on, for the most part. Obviously getting on with randoms can kind of make you quite frustrated, but you still get some good people every now and again, and it's for the most part an enjoyable experience to an extent. So yeah, again, replayability value is great with this. I love playing it, and I still love playing it, which is something that Black Ops 3 again lacked in. Didn't really have all that replayability value that I actually knew and love. So yeah, so that's gonna be for it all for the cons, or for the pros. Yeah, the pros. Then we'll be moving on to the cons, right? So moving on to the cons, gonna be starting off with one thing, that the wonder weapons are tedious to obtain. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about all of the 4 ray gun-like pistols, you know, stuff like the Face Melter, the Shredder, the Discord, and whichever the other one is called. They're all pretty tedious to get. You have to take a lot of time out of your way to get them. If you're playing with randoms, it can be really hard because they can screw up a step for it, like putting in the tokens. You know, you'll have like one more, like, yes, just need one more red and I'm good. But then they'll put in something different, and that's going to screw you up, and you got to wait a lot more rounds to be able to get your tokens and to be able to get that part. But again, I can see solo players wouldn't really have this problem that much. But other stuff, such as like, let's say the disco ball for getting the, or not the disco ball, but the battery for getting the Discord. It's obviously search around for all the hidden targets, like you're seeing on screen right now, as a matter of fact. And it's just pretty tedious to get on and search for all those targets. I know most of the locations now, so it's not that bad. But it's still quite annoying because if you get hit by a zombie, your glasses get knocked off. You don't know if you're going to be able to pick them up afterwards. If you can, that's great. You can search for it later on. But you got to wait until a zombie is saved or something like that. And most of the time, randoms don't save a zombie. So you have to wait and just hope and pray that you're able to do it while zombies are spawning in. So obviously it's pretty hard, and you got to continuously do it every single time you want one of those weapons. They didn't really make anything straight up available in the box, but they did make the Forge Freeze, which I guess technically is a wonder weapon, just available straight up with tickets. So that's obviously quite an easy counterpart, even though it's not that good. It's still something else you can use. It's still a wonder weapon that you can obtain easily. So I can see kind of like, you know, a counteracting thing with the wonder weapons being tedious to build and to also use, because obviously they're just not that great, you know, but obviously they're probably the best weapons in the map for the most part. So obviously they're still good, but they are indeed tedious to make, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the community agrees with me there. So moving on with the next con, we have that the Brute is overpowered, also including the cop zombies, but let's focus on the Brute. So the Brute, as you guys know, is the big main boss zombie that will come every, you know, certain amount of rounds, and is pretty hard to defeat. He has two stages, one with the mask on. You gotta knock off his mask. He'll be shooting lasers at you while he has it on. You shoot off his mask, and then he's a lot easier to take out. You just get all kinds of headshots while he's running fast at you. Actually faster than normal zombies, I believe. So you just, you know, shoot him like that, and you're all good. You just get a lot of headshots, he's gonna be dead. So obviously that's not that bad, but the Brute overall is pretty hard because in the later rounds, most people will keep their Brutes throughout multiple rounds. I don't know if it stops them from spawning in like new Brutes or what it does, but essentially people will keep their Brutes because they're just too hard to take out. They don't want to have to take all their ammo and just kill them. So I can obviously see the problem there. I haven't been really going for that high rounds. I've made it to, like, I believe 30, 31 something, 34, 30, 31, something like that. I made it to, and it was pretty hard. I'm pretty sure Brutes eventually got us screwed over in the end. And then real quick, I do want to mention the cop zombies, which are, you know, quite hard to deal with sometimes, because if you're using, like, let's say an explosive weapon, they're not gonna crawl. They can't crawl at all. So if you're using explosives, good luck killing them, because they'll just sit there and flinch and stay up for longer. So they are a little bit harder to kill than regular zombies. They do have more health. So you also do have to watch out for the cops. Relating to Black Ops 3, yes, they were also hard boss zombies like the Panzer Soldat and the excuse me, and the Margwa, but I don't think that they were that bad to deal with for the most part. You had wonder weapons that would easily counteract them, such as like the Panzer Soldat being hit with the lightning bow or the electric bow. You know, that was pretty good. So again, the Brute, pretty overpowered for a boss zombie and quite annoying to deal with. And then moving on to the last con of Infinite Warfare Zombies, we have that the Easter egg is bland and no ending cutscene. So if you didn't know, the Easter egg ends and you fighting an alien and a giant UFO, which is pretty cool. For the most part, the boss fight is okay to watch. I've watched it for the most part before. It's just very, it's like there's nothing different about it. It's just kill them and then you're done. You know, there's nothing special that you have to do. It's just shoot them, and maybe I think like at one point you have to knife the alien. So it really isn't all that good. Again, if you're just now starting off playing this game and you want to try an Easter egg for the first time, I guess it's not that bad. But whenever you're like me and you've done quite a few of Easter eggs, then you're not really gonna enjoy the boss fight that much, because there's nothing really all that different. And also leading up to that, where you're just getting all the city comms and stuff set up, it's just like the soul things within Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 2 or any kind of Treyarch Zombies, anything that involves souls they have to fill up. It's essentially just like that, except you just gotta defend things instead of actually just filling it up with souls. So again, it's not really that good of an Easter egg, but moving on, there's no ending cutscene. Now, this was something that we all expected to happen, because, you know, there was this cool animated intro, you know, 2D animated, drawn seemingly by hand, but obviously, you know, it was made in a computer for the most part, but it was still, you know, drawn at one point by hand, for the most part. So that was pretty cool, but there was no ending cutscene, and nothing really to signify that it was the end either. It was just, the UFO died, you got a trophy. I mean, that was about it for the most part. So, obviously, no Easter egg ending cutscene, which means that there's nothing to guess about the next map. It's like we have no idea what it's going to be. We don't even know what the story is going to evolve from. Like, if there's no ending cutscene, then that obviously means in the intro of the DLC 1, they're going to have to explain everything that happened. Because obviously nothing in the end, like they didn't escape or anything like that. So, I mean, it's a possibility that there's more to the Easter egg, or that it's just they'll add in a ending cutscene closer to DLC 1. I don't know for sure, to be honest. Or maybe they'll just release on YouTube. I have no idea. But again, not having one at the end kind of really upset you, because if you went through all the time to go through the Easter egg, you didn't really have anything at the end. You had no reward except for a trophy and being able to play as David Hasselhoff, and, you know, obviously, you know, double pack punching and all that stuff. But I think that shouldn't have been just for the Easter egg. I think that should have been something completely separate from the main Easter egg, so you don't have to complete it every single time to be able to double pack punch. So yeah, guys, I think that's gonna be it for the pros and cons of the Infinite Warfare Zombies in Spaceland review, or my honest thoughts and opinions and all that kind of stuff. So what do I think overall of it? What do I rate it out of 10? And do I think it could be better than Black Ops 3 Zombies? So I honestly think it's very good. I really am enjoying it. The replayability, like I said, I can play it a lot and still have some fun. So I'm playing it a lot and I like it and it's good, and I think other people should try it out if they have not already before. What would I rate it out of 10? I'd say maybe about a 7, maybe an 8. Obviously, I'm not really that big of an Easter egg guy, so straight up focusing on gameplay is a good part for me, for the most part. I just like to play around with it, and that's really good that I'm able to, and still have some fun with it. So, yeah, about a 7, 7.5 out of 10, which is pretty good, to be honest. And do I think that it could be better than Black Ops 3 Zombies? Now, this is a very hard question to answer, but to be honest, I'm gonna have to go with, yeah, I think it may be better than Black Ops 3 Zombies. Because, to be honest, most of Black Ops 3 was just disappointing to me. Again, you played through the map a few times, it got super easy, all the maps were easy for the most part. you were just able to get to high rounds very, very, very easily on a lot of them. There'd always be like a round 100 stream within the first week. So, I mean, you know, that's just not good. So, I didn't really enjoy Black Ops 3 Zombies all that much. And I think Infinite Warfare, for its DLC season, really has some potential for zombies. Infinity Ward, don't screw it up now. You're on a great start. And I want to see better with DLCs as they release. And I can't wait until that happens. So to everyone at Infinity Ward, good job. And good luck with the DLC. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and all that cool stuff. Let me know what you think of Infinite Warfare Zombies in the comments section down below. And I will definitely look at what you think and review the comments. So, yeah. And I will talk to you guys later.